So this is the demonstration of a maze game web app I've created using JavaScript and Rust. So the way this works is you can simply enter npm start, and that will compile the Rust and compile everything just as WebAssembly and turn it into a web page. And then in this web page, you can use the arrow keys to move your character or player. And then you can also generate a new maze using this. And then you can change this difficulty using the slider. And I was able to program it in a way where I can efficiently create very large mazes. It still takes a second, but it it will generate and it won't lag when you're moving. And you can still see the solution on these larger mazes. There are some graphics here because of the way I have to draw it to keep it from lagging, because otherwise this whole thing would be updating every time, which is slow. So all the graphics side of it is handled in my JavaScript. So there's three different functions. There's the draw function, which basically just draws 30 cells each direction of the character. Then there is the initial draw function, which just at the beginning, since I'm not drawing everything, it draws all the cells at once. Then there's a solution draw, which when I generate the solution, will draw all of this. And I think that's everything that I need to talk about for my JavaScript. All of this just the handles just um, getting the user input and creating the new maze. And so the JavaScript interfaces with this Rust, which is compiled into WebAssembly. And what it does is it creates a new maze. All right. And so the maze, it just basically just generates a new maze. And then up here, the variables it contains are just some necessary variables, but the ones we want to look up at are the grid, which contains the path information, the overlay, which contains the character position, um, the start position, the end position, and how to get those. And also it contains a trail and a way to get the trail into the JavaScript. And also there's a solution, which basically just helps generate the solution and also contains a way to get it back to the JavaScript side of the web app. So yeah, this is the game overlay. Every time you make a move, it will go through until there's, it will just go through a path until you have an option to change direction. And then at each of those points, it will add a trail. And what that trail does is it basically just sets the grid at that position to true if it's false, or false if that position is true. And then the solution. So yeah, the solution just whenever the it generates a new cell, it will take the last cell and add one to that. And so what that does is you're able to look at the in position and say, maybe this is 10, right? And this is 10, this is 9, this is 8. And so it goes through finding one lower each time, and it just sets that one to, or adds it to a vector of the path. And it will just return that vector that contains um, the coordinates of each cell that is part of the solution. And yeah, I think that's it for my program. Thank you for watching.